So guys, obviously there are different levels to proficiency with firearms. I do not declare myself an expert. I think I'm decent based on the training I've had, but I'm definitely not some Navy SEAL or Delta Force guy, and I don't claim to be. But I think where people run into issues is where they watch a YouTube video and they say, okay, well, I learned this. Just a quick tip for the people out there who are maybe new to firearms and don't know. Just because you plan something or watch something does not mean that you're going to be good just by watching it. You have to implement it and practice it to see if you're actually good, right? Planning is very different than practicing. You learn a lot about your ability from practicing versus just sitting there and saying, okay, yeah, that looks pretty easy. It's not. It's just not. So that's the situation we have today. We have a OnlyFans person. And for those of you who don't know what OnlyFans is, congratulations. God bless your soul. It probably means you're not on the internet. Don't go look it up right now. Just, you're good. I probably shouldn't even said the name. I personally think it's the destruction of men. It's first, then it's OnlyFans. And a lot of men out there who are, maybe lonely or whatever. I mean, I'm not judging people. Go on these chicks' profiles and subscribe to them and sit there and feed the geese all day. And that's the Trailer Park Boys. God, I love that show. It's the dumbest show ever, but my God, I mean, it's so well thought out, and I love that show. I'm not afraid to admit it. That's fine. Judge me.
I was laying there in the dark last night trying to get to sleep, and next thing you know, I hear creaky weaky, rubby wubby moany moany. I tried clearing my throat a couple times, but he didn't even break stride. I didn't know what to do. I just laid there being quiet. He was feeding the geese.
But why don't we just take a gander at this chick's Instagram profile before we start all this stuff? Because, my Lord. First off, we got a face tattoo. And some huge lips. Face tattoos, obviously a concern. I don't know, for those of you who are thinking about hitting her up, I would be concerned about that. This isn't a dating advice channel, but I figured I'd just lend some advice regardless. I would be concerned about that. But yeah, this is just a normal chick's profile who denounces porn, but does it herself in just a different way. So why don't we watch her just shoot her purse here. So I'm a little confused by the situation here. A piece of brass fell in her boot, like, oh fuck, and then fired her gun. This is probably a big reason why we say to go practice. I mean, come on. Everybody who's shot a decent amount knows that you're gonna get brass on yourself at some point. I mean, unless you're wearing long sleeves, gloves, face mask, it's gonna happen. And you've got to be aware of it, or else it's probably going to end up to be something like this if you're super jumpy. So I think the moral of the story here is if you are unexperienced with a gun, and obviously most of the people watching this channel are laughing at this saying, this is hilarious, but if you were a person who is new here, no judgment, if you're new, we all start at different times, serious, genuinely. Go with someone who will help you. Go with someone who will prepare you. It's not as simple as going and shooting a gun. It's not. There are intangibles that you probably will not think about. It is not as simple as loading a mag and then shooting a gun, because once again, if a round just slides under your shirt, it's gonna feel like a chick bit you right on the chest, and you may fire your gun off in a direction where you don't want to fire it. I just feel like the examples I'm giving here are not, they're probably accurate. I'm just curious though, why wear that to a shooting range? Once again, this kind of comes into having somebody experienced going with you and giving you direction. Like, hey, darling, you probably shouldn't wear short sleeves. You probably shouldn't wear like a big old like V-cut. You probably should cover your ass. I mean, that's obvious, right? I mean, that's the classy thing to do, I feel like. I mean, you're at a shooting range, not a strip club. No, that doesn't make sense. I mean, we are in 2025, so we do see weirder stuff, but I don't know. Who knows? That being said, folks, Genuinely. These are items that can seriously endanger yourself and others. They're not to be screwed around with. I don't care if you're some OnlyFans chick or if you're a chef or if you're a PhD in something. You still have to be careful. You still have to be trained and treat it as if it can be a major problem for you, because it has been and it will continue to be until people figure this out. So guys, obviously I'm into fitness, just well-being as a whole. And the key to losing weight is not necessarily through limiting carbs, fat, all of the fads nowadays. There is something that Dr. Stephen Gundry came up with, and it's called caloric bypass. This process includes losing weight, getting tons more energy, improved digestion, stronger feeling joints, smoother skin, and ultimately healthier lives. Dr. Stephen Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself by doing this. There's going to be a video that he created. I watched it, super interesting, makes a ton of sense. Definitely check it out.